So let me ask you a question out there real quick. So let me ask you a question. If I came to you and I said, hey, give me your bank account number. Would you give me your bank account number? Like, really think about that. Would you give me your bank account number right now? Some of you are saying, maybe, what can you do with the bank account number? Well, what if I take it a little step further? Would you give me your bank account number and your PIN number, your security PIN? Would you give that to me? Most of you are saying, no, I wouldn't. Some of you are saying, well, I trust Chad. Would you give it to a complete stranger? Would you give your bank account number and your PIN number, maybe your ATM card, to a complete stranger? Most of you are thinking, no, of course not, Chad. Well, why? Well, because they could take all of my money. They could go in and they could take money out of my account and I would lose that money. I got to be protective of the money that's in my bank account. Well, why? Because I pay my bills with that. I feed my family with that. I go on vacation with that. I put away that money away for retirement. Well, why is it that we're more protective of our money in our bank account, but we're not as protective of our backlog? Right now, there is an assault against your backlog. People are trying to steal your backlog right now. That is the sales that you have already closed that are canceling. Cancellation rates across the country are at an all-time high. And why aren't we as protective with our backlog as we are with the money that's already in our account? That is money that you have already made. That is commission that you have already put in your account. You have to protect that at all costs, and you have to proactively protect that. In this market right now where there's a ton of uncertainty, people that are under contract are canceling, and you can say, well, they're canceling because they can't afford. No, 90% of the people that are canceling in the home building industry, in home building right now, are not canceling because they can't afford it. They're canceling because of some story in their head that believes that they're not going to be able to afford it, that something is going to happen. They're going to lose their job, or interest rates are going to go up, or there's so much uncertainty. They're canceling. People are walking away from big deposits. What are you doing to protect your backlog? Every day you have to focus on people that have already gone to contract but have not closed. You have to protect that backlog like you protect your ATM card. Like you protect your social security number, like everything else. This is income that you've already had. Well, how do you do that? One, you have to stay in touch. You have to stay in touch. That buyer is getting hit with uncertainty every single day. What are you doing to provide certainty, to undo the uncertainty that the environment is giving them? I don't care if it's a text, I don't care if it's a phone call, I don't care if it's a touch point. I have a rule, 5 days. 5 days is the max you can go in a row without talking to a client, without a touch point with somebody that is under contract that has not closed. Number two, you can never ever take their business for granted. You can never take their business for granted. Every time you talk to them, you're doing one or two things. You're either adding certainty to that person's decision to use us and to stay under contract with us, or you're taking certainty away. Every time you talk to them, hey, how you doing? Is everything good? How are you feeling? I'm really excited. You're pumping them. You are the B12 shot of certainty every time you talk to them. Look at your calendar, look at your schedule, and tell me what you're doing today to protect your backlog. You have to protect your backlog. Those checks have already been cashed. That commission has already been deposited. You cannot lose that commission. Protect your backlog at all costs starting today.